I now have the privilege to introduce to you Usman T. Malik. Usman T. Malik is a Pakistani writer resident in Florida. His fiction has appeared in or is forthcoming at Tor.com, Strange Horizons, Pseudopod, and the British dark literary journal Black Static, among other places. He is the first Pakistani graduate of the Clarion West Writers' Workshop, where his teachers included Neil Gaiman and SFWA Grandmaster Samuel R. Delaney. His work has been listed on the Bram Stoker and Nebula Award reading lists and has received honorable mention in Best Horror of 2013. In 2013, he won the Written Backwards Publications Draw Inspiration Award for Best New Writer. Please welcome Usman T. Malik.
Hi. Thank you very much for the introduction. For the reading, I wanted to read from a story that appeared in Black Static just this last month. Like Jared said, I'm a Pakistani writer, and I do tend to identify with my roots. And I consider my work in the vein of what Robert Bolaño once said, is the melancholy folklore of exile, and migration in certain forms is also self-exile. So I'm going to read from a story. It's called Ishq, and I'll tell you a little bit about the background. My dad was here last year, and he told me about this street in Pakistan, this alley, where people actually live. And it's so narrow that you can't move a car through that. But their homes' entrances open into that alley. And I was so fascinated by that setting that I wanted to write a story about it. And a cousin of mine, when I was growing up, she had polio, and she had one of her legs was afflicted. And so I wanted to put those two together, and then that's how the story came. It's kind of a gothic, neo-gothic love ghost story. So it's called Ishq, which means love in Urdu. They whispered, Parveen is in love with the Shakagandhi vendor. Figures, said the shocked neighborhood women. Fitting that the girl with polio, the 17-year-old with the face of an angel and the leg of a hobbled horse, who stood at her window every night, staring into the ghostly depth of narrow alley, would steal glances at the bright-eyed boy with muscles sharp and confident in his back and a perpetual smile on his face. When Hashim went peddling his basket of steamed sweet potato up the alley, yodeling at the top of his voice, Shakargandhi wala, many a middle-aged lady sighed dreamily and leaned out of her window to watch him go. Come taste my wares, his lilting young man's voice teased. Come take a bite of my sweet potatoes. And they wanted to go, wanted to take their drawstring velvet purses, abandon the baby carriage in the hall with its shit-stained linen, abolish all principles of a vaguely understood domesticity, and run screaming after the sing-song boy. Wait, oh please wait, one packet of your Shakagandhi please. Stay a moment, won't you? No, you're charging too much. Leave my alley now, you lying scumbag. But throw me over your shoulders and take me with you. Such sins that our daydreams are made of. The women watched the sweat of Hashim's labor trickle down the brown lobes of his exquisite ears, watched his bare chest shine with summer heat, and in the evening they'd gather in the cool, sprawling lion's garden near Mosque Vizier and make fun of the boy. Who would ever go with him? They would ask each other wide-eyed and laugh nervously. Who would ever go with this young, beautiful, lanky fool who never stopped grinning? Seemly then that Parveen was the answer. The pale girl whose high, gloomy room looked down upon the alley from a dusty window. Every evening she leaned out, red and yellow bangles slipping down her willowy arms until they shone in the dark like jewels. They clinked above the din of the street, Kanak Kanak, a soul song borrowed from centuries of Punjabi lore, and the girl's eyes would be restless and lusterless until they riveted on the boy pedaling towards her house. Hashim's route was fixed. Each morning he biked up the alley, navigating the narrowest points on foot. Come dusk, he walked his bicycle down, smiling, yelling to laborers and shopkeepers returning home to try his Shakagandhi. He had a sweet, heartbreaking voice, and when he was not yodeling, he sang Sufi love verses that pealed in the night like bells. Everywhere I turn, I see Ranjha. So long I've chanted Ranjha, Ranjha, I've become him myself. Call me Ranjha, sisters, don't call me Heer no more. Carefully, he decorated his wicker basket with Chakragandhi. Blossoms of sweet potato wedges sat skewered on toothpicks ringed with slices of lemon, a presentation to tempt the most jaded taste buds. And the people of Narrow Alley responded. They'd gather around, wait for him to sprinkle chaat masala over their perches, and munch the Chakragandhi all the way home. It was on one such night when the boy clattered down the alley, good-naturedly tinkling his bell at pedestrians, that he chanced to glance up into the mounting black. A stick figure stared down at him, circlets of light at its wrists. Their eyes met, the bangles chimed, a new dark surged, and the sweet potato vendor of Narrow Alley never looked away again. After cancer flooded my mother's brain, Ammi brimmed with stories. The tale of the girl at the window and the Shakagandhi vendor of Narrow Alley was one of them. These stories poured from Ammi's lips with a sick urgency, pieces of her past stitching together until a rich tapestry of her life shone brilliant before my eyes. Stories before Dad and suburbia and America and migration. Stories of a youth spent in Old Lahore near Mosque Wazir Khan in an alley believed to be the narrowest habitable street in Pakistan, where people came and went like thieves slipping through the night. Do we have enough time or should I go on? Okay. Why? I guess she wanted them remembered, wanted the wholesomeness of their truth, their old world strangeness to carry on, no matter how unlikely they seemed. At first, Dad worried. He wasn't sure how much was too much for a 15-year-old born and bred in good old US of A. But he trusted Ammi and he loved her haunted black eyes, her nervous laughter, her cafe au lait hands which she painted with henna every Eid. Ammi was crazy about henna. She knew a woman who knew a Desi woman who was a graduate of Rollins College and the finest henna artist in Florida. This lady prepared her own dye by drying, milling, and sifting henna leaves, then mixed the dry powder with lemon juice, rainwater, and red wine. To this paste, she added eucalyptus and lavender oils to produce rich, scented green-brown henna that she packaged in plastic cones. Ammi's adulation of this artist began with an accidental meeting, but soon she was visiting her every few months and they became friends. Ammi loved the smell of her handiwork. She said it reminded her of Lahore's flower gardens and lush lawns in the summer. When Ammi died, the henna artist came and calligraphed Iqbal's legendary poem, "Love Teaches Me the Etiquette of Knowing Myself," on Ammi's neck and cheeks and shriveled arms and hands. The orange and golden hues filled the funeral parlor with my mother's scent. Even after they took her away, the perfume lingered. It made my dad weepy and volatile for months. I'm going to stop here. Thank you very much.